afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great day of trucking today. Hey, welcome to the Truckers Voices podcast tonight. And we got a special treat for y'all tonight. We got one of our professional drivers who's going to come on here and tell us all about his story, his life in trucking, and everything else we can drag out of him. But I hope y'all had a good day of trucking today. I hope that y'all were safe. Everything was good. You got back home to your family. Hey, if you're listening to me now, you're probably at home and you got home. So, hey, you've had a successful day. And if you're listening to me on the repeat, on the rebroadcast, hey, y'all stay safe. And remember, hey, we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. So if you want to go back and check that out, y'all just put in the keyword in both of those search engines, Truckers Voices, and you can pull up the podcast from the past. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my co-host in here, which is Steve Brand. He's never short on words, and that's why I like him. Hey, he's cheap, and he can carry the conversation for me. So I'm going to bring Steve on in here. What's going on, Steve?
Good evening, Tim. Truckers, truckettes. Everybody had a good day, I hope. I had a great day. Got me a little sun today. Been out talking to people at the state fair, having a great time, talking a little trucking, talking a little safety. I've been having a good time, man. Good time. But yourself?
Steve,
yo,
what's all this redness up here for, brother?
I told you I've been out in the sun, brother. I've been out in the sun. I've been talking trucking, been talking safety, been having a good time over to Columbus Fair. Got me some fresh root beer.
Yeah.
Our guy right around the corner there, I bought a mug, and for $3 you get a refill.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Tomorrow I think I might try a little sarsaparilla.
You think you might want to spend a little money on some suntan oil or lotion or block?
Nah. It's all good.
It's all good?
It's all good, baby. It's all good,
All right. Well, hey, what do you think about our guest that we got coming on tonight, man? He is a good one. I think we got a good guest tonight.
Honestly, he is a professional, a true professional, a man that loves this industry, knows this industry, cares about this industry, and he's just an all-around good guy. He's an all-around good guy. I'm not going to mention he's a good-looking fella, too. I'm not going to mention that, but, I'll throw it out.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he and we have the same haircut, and he is a good-looking fella. Can't anybody pull this haircut off right here.
Well, I'm telling you, I got a few cut last night. It's not quite as good as yours, but I got a few cut last night. Kind of, it's all good. It's all good. So,
All right. Well, hey, I want to welcome everybody. I thank everybody that's viewing tonight. We're going to bring our guest on in here and get into the show because you know how this hour will fly by before we know it, and we got to get it started there, Steve.
Yes, we do.
All right. Without further ado, here's our man of the hour. We're going to welcome Mr. Byron Bramwell to the show. So, Byron, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, guys. I got to agree with you. I don't know about that red head. Steve's, give him some suntan lotion, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm working on that complexion. See, I'm trying,
Okay, we'll go with that. How you boys doing? Good seeing you guys.
We're doing good, Byron. So, man, did you have a good day of trucking today?
I did. I had got America's Freight picked up, got America's Freight delivered. So the commerce is still rolling.
Commerce is still rolling. Hey, are you seeing freight levels out there kind of even out some or drop some, or what are you seeing up there in Kansas City?
Yeah, they're backing off just a little bit. It's still pretty busy, but they're backing off just a little bit. But the craziness has been for the last however long needed to slow down a little bit anyway. But you make better service if it slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
So
let's get this thing started. I wanted to bring you in here because I wanted to find out a little bit more about you. And I know you, but I want the audience out here to know you and a little bit about you. But so tell us who you are, where you're from, where you was born, where you live at, and all that kind of good jazz. We're going to just dive right into it.
Okay. Well, my name is Byron Bramwell. I drive for Yellow. I been a lifelong driver. I was very fortunate. It's been a very blessed career for me. I got into this career when I was 18. I started casual for Roadway, and that led into a full-time job when I was 20. And I'm going to hang it up this December. I'm going to retire at 45 years service with the company. I've been very fortunate to be at the same company all these years, and I've had a great career, pushing over 3 million miles in the city operation. Been in the city operation my whole life, and so it's just been a very blessed career, very, very rewarding career for me.
So 3 million miles in the city, Steve.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
But I do got a question. 45 years? Come on, you ain't but what, 35?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Be a little something extra in your check next week.
Nice. I like
yeah,
that.
it's really went by quickly when I look back on it. The good thing is that I feel like I'm 35 inside, so that part's good. So it's kind of hard for me to believe. And then sometimes I look at myself and think, man, I'm only 25 and I look this rough.
So Byron, let's start out from the beginning. So what year was it that you started out in the trucking industry?
Well, I started casual in 76. Regulation, trucking industry was still regulated when I started. And, at that time, even what we call the big companies now, or, the big companies back then, they still didn't go across the country all the way. For instance, Kansas City was the end of the line for Roadway in 76. And you had to, of course, buy other truck lines to get authority to run those areas. And I was hired in the expansion of 78. They bought Eastern Express, and that gave them Colorado. And so Kansas City all of a sudden became the break bulk for Colorado, and that made an expansion. That's how I ended up getting hired at such a young age, was for the break bulk there, working the dock. So,
okay. So let's go back to that. So you said that you started in 76, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you said that was before deregulation. We all know that deregulation happened in the deregulation in 1980, right?
Right.
So, how did you worked through that deregulation period. How did that affect what you did on an everyday basis?
Well, great question, because it changed my outlook on the industry. At that time, Tim, I was thinking, if this is my chosen career, if this is going to be my lifestyle, then I want to be the best at it. I want to be the best I can be at it. And that's what led me into the truck driving championships. And that's what led me into the safety work. And that's what led me into America's Road Team. That's what led me into, I gratefully give being involved with those programs, making that 3.3 million miles for me, because it sharpened my skills. Every time I always wanted to get back to see my friends at the state level every year. So, I would tell them a lot of times, 364 days till we get to come play again, guys, drive safe. And that made me drive safe. And I competed in, I just made my last go around a couple month or so ago in Missouri. I competed. That was my 33rd straight state championship. So the safe driving I owe to a lot of different things, but back then, I remember I was kind of thinking about this, that when you told me, you might be asking about my early years. I remember it was such a scary time, because it was literally almost every week a truck line was going out of business, because they couldn't compete in a non deregulated environment. A lot of them, and so only the strong or the smart ones survived, and so it was kind of a scary time, and that's why it made me want to be a better driver and forced me to be a better driver to survive that. Is the way I felt it.
Right. And now looking back on it, here we are in 2022. Do you think that deregulation helped the trucking industry?
Yeah, in general, I think it did in all ways. I mean, it most definitely helped the customers. It made the people a lot sharper to figure freight and to haul freight and to make money. I mean, you got to remember, you got to make money to stay in business.
Right.
So,
right. Okay.
It was a pretty, what I want to say, a pretty easy system before. Your rates was regulated. Everything was regulated. So you didn't really have to do very much as far as figuring stuff, as far as pricing, and as far as that goes.
Right.
But,
right. Steve, did you come through deregulation? No, you and I are about the same age. I mean, I come into the industry back around 92, 93, so you didn't come through deregulation.
No, I started January 89.
Okay. All right.
And my first company, Byron probably remembers this one. I started with Riss International, good old Crooked.
Oh yeah,
right there across the river, right there by the rail yard.
Well, wasn't they based here in Kansas City?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had 3 terminals. We had one out here in Ohio. Can't remember what the name of that town was. And then we had one in Charlotte and Kansas City. I think they had one in California, but I never made it out there. But
right. I think California was, or Kansas City was their home base, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. I started there in January 89.
Okay.
So, and then they went belly up in November of 89, I think it was. And I think by the time they got in cahoots with Chargy Transportation up there in Quincy, Illinois, and they started an off company of Core Transportation. I don't even think Core's in business anymore. But I left them in November of 89, and then my career took off from there. So, but Riss was I thought it was a good starting company by all means.
Right.
They went through a couple trials and tribulations. I think right there around deregulations, they sold all their trucks to their drivers that wanted to buy them. And then they started back in the company again. So, they was in business quite a few years. So, but no, I didn't have anything to do with deregulations. My dad did. He was working for Western Auto Supply out of O'Fallon, Missouri, up there in 1980.
Right.
When deregulation hit, they moved Western Auto out of St. Louis, and
they had a big brake bulk distribution center in Salina, didn't they?
Yes,
Salina, Kansas.
Yeah. Dad run all of Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, and ended up in Bonne Terre every Friday night. Was his last pedal. So, but then he went to work for Chart Transport out of East St. Louis. And,
right.
And then we all know what happened to Western Auto. They changed it to Advance Auto, and well, I don't know how they're doing. I guess they're doing.
Did you ever see the big Western Auto sign? It's kind of iconic here in Kansas City. It's right off I-35 in the downtown loop.
Yes.
It's still lit. It's still kind of a monument to the that they keep it. It stayed up.
Stayed up. It stays lit every night. That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is.
Awesome. It is.
All right.
You'll have to get a picture of that and send it to me, buddy.
I will. I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, tonight, I want to welcome Danny Smith, Scott Post, and Jay Miller and Nancy Post. Some of these other folks are looking online. I see a comment here that I'll tell you who it is here in just a minute. But who is Crispy Critter?
Crispy Critter. Who's that?
Is that your handle?
No, I don't know. I don't know who that is. I'm afraid to ask.
Oh, is that you, Steve? Jay Miller saying crispy critter there. I guess that's you, Steve.
Jay Miller?
He must be referring to my face, I guess, being crispy critter. What's going on,
Oh,
Jay?
okay, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That would be Jay.
Oh, goodness gracious.
See what we're saying, Byron? This could go any direction.
Hey, Jay is a great guy, great guy, but do not travel with him and not pay attention where you're going. Because we was going down to Herschel's, and this is a pretty good story. Jay's driving, Don Logan's in the right seat, I'm in the back seat, and Don Logan asked me, he says, "Hey, Byron, test me on this test question here, or on this paragraph of the book." And he throws the book back to me. Now, we know the book we're talking about, right?
Yes, we know book.
Drivers.
Okay. And so Don quotes the chapter on bridges. Okay. Remember that?
Yep.
It says, it tells how many bridges are defunct, how many are, all the numbers, Don quotes it verbatim.
I believe that.
And he misses 2 words. And I threw the book back at him. He said, "How'd I do?" And I said, "You missed 2 words." And he was like, he was upset that he missed 2 words. I said, "What?" He says, "What was the 2 words?" And I said, "The and thee." So a little while later, I look out the window and the sign says 100 miles to Indianapolis. I said, "Jay, where are we going?" "We're supposed to be going to Atlanta." We had all been talking and missed the turn.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, great guys are great guys.
Those are great guys for sure. Hey, I want to welcome Charlie Fuller to the show. Charlie, thank you for listening in tonight. Byron, let's go back to tractors back when you started. Whenever you started, what did you start out driving?
Well, Roadway was big in them old C Ford cab overs. So you pretty much cut your teeth on them old Ford cab overs. And they bought a lot of different brands of trucks through the years, but that was kind of the mainstay in the city operations was. Then we moved up to the Louisvilles. That became the mainstay after the C series. And so 2 basic tractors for many years. I personally had a little cab over Volvo for a long time. Volvo had gave them, I think there in Kansas City, we had 4 of them that they was testing them for thinking about going into the Volvo cab overs for city operations. But and they got around really good, but they a lot of people didn't like them for different reasons, But those were the basic trucks back that was the mainstay of them,
Right. What speed transmission was that?
Well, they had 10-speed Road Rangers, and they had 10 speeds with 2 speeds. Had that was basically it. There about it, if I remember right, everything you had to split shift everything. It seemed like there was no straight transmissions like some of the other trucks had, straight 7 speeds and different things like that. But
right.
they had, I think everything was splitter in them,
Yeah. Is that it? Now, did you drive any of those that you had to wrap your arm through the steering wheel and change it and hold the gear shifter with the other one and kind of shift?
No, I owned one. I had one here at the farm. I had a 57 B model Mac, and it had the twin sticks. And, well, matter of fact, I got one right now. I got a 1980 Mac. That's a R model Mac. That's a twin stick. That wait to be restored, but it'll wait a while longer, but it is a 2-sticker.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So what do you think between then and now? How is the the technology come a long way? Because I know you kind of worked through this technology, and I myself as well, and Steve as well. But what do you think about the the technology that's come through on the newer tractors and all compared to what you used to drive?
Well, on the tractors, it's really superb what has come through. I mean, you take like these any of the new ones. It doesn't matter what brand it is. They ride better than our cars used to ride back then. And I was in a newer Volvo today, and it rode really good, and power windows and all that stuff. Heated mirrors, that was unheard of back in the day. And I've even become, I hate to admit this, but I've even become a fan of the automatic transmissions for the simple fact, it gives me so much more time to watch my mirrors, look around, watch, aim high steering, stuff like that. They're fabulous what they've done in those in a short period of time, because it wasn't very long ago. The automatics wasn't very good.
Right.
And it really improved them a lot.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah,
Steve?
Byron, did you ever run any line haul? Did you ever go out on the road and run any line haul?
Never none. But I think when the ATA got my application for, to be on the road team, they thought I was a road driver. They sent me everywhere. So, which was great. And, but, I mean, I had some pedal runs that was, 350 miles a day, but as far as overnight, no.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering, with you starting around 1976 or so, when did Interstate 70 come in between St. Louis and Kansas City?
Now, I'm not that old.
Well, I know, but I mean, I remember when Dad got started, I-44 wasn't in existence. They was building it. And I just that's why I was asking if you was on line haul. What was the interstate system like back when you started driving?
Well, it was although the roads were probably rougher, it was faster. And what I mean by that is I remember in the early days before I could drive. I mean, I got on full time before I could even legally drive on the road. So I did a lot of hustling and dock work and stuff like that. And we could always tell where the trucks came from by how much fuel they took. And we could always tell, we always had a sheet that would tell us, what to expect. And if an Indy driver, there was times an Indy driver would come in 2 hours hot, meaning, he was 2 hours early. And back in the days, if you got behind somebody like Roadway or Yellow or somebody like that, you was going to see the country quickly. Because, some of them old trucks, they had some of them old Freightliner or not the old Max and Whites. It seemed like they had no bottom. I mean, they'd shake so bad you'd back out of yourself, And so the roads were faster but rougher, is what I mean. Faster in the speed of, the speed limits were faster. Number one. And so they was rougher. So they're a lot better shape now compared to what there was back then. And a lot safer,
Yeah. So let's tackle this. Let's tackle this comment that's on the screen here. It comes from Mr. Charlie Demchuk. He says, "What's your best memory / experience, if you can remember, over the course of your career, Byron?"
Oh my goodness, Charlie, that's a tough one. Because like I said, I told you in the beginning, I've had a very, very blessed career. When you go into a career or something, I went into it needing to make money. I needed a job, and I was young, and I was getting ready to start a family and all that, and so I needed a paycheck. But I had no idea that it would suit me so fine because being a P&D driver, I love to visit with my customers, do anything for them. And it suited me fine. It was different. A lot of times different customers every day. Sometimes the same customers, and it all just fit me very well for a career. And hopefully I was, I think I was pretty good at it. Tried to be anyway, the best I could anyway. So, what more could you want from a career? And as far as memories, my goodness, there's so many that good memories, between the truck driving championships and, that was always the highlight of every year to look forward to compete, see my friends. Because, you're only known by the company you keep. So back when I was saying I wanted to be the best I could be, I knew that if I hung out with the likes of some of the drivers we've been talking about, you two, that I was in good company. And if you want to be in good company, you got to associate with good company, be in good company. And so that's what the industry was about for me. All the good folks in the industry. So, because it is such a people person type industry. So that was always a reward for me. So,
right. All right, Steve.
Yeah, buddy.
Go ahead. Next question.
Can you believe I'm lost for words? No, on the truck driving championships, when you started doing them up until now, how much have they changed? Because I know since I've been doing them, they are just getting awesome. And the competition is getting so stiff. It is just, it's unreal.
Well, you're absolutely right. The competition has gotten better and better and better. Sometimes I'll look back at some of the old pictures of us being at truck driving championships. Now, we always wore ties, if you can imagine.
Right.
We wore dress slacks and usually nice white shirts embroidered with our name or company name or whatever, and ties. And guys would throw their ties over their shoulder or stick their ties in their shirt or whatever, do pre-trips and stuff. And that was before, but you're right. They have gotten better. The competition's gotten so much better at the truck driving championships. Not that the first drivers wasn't good. It was just that there's so many more good drivers.
Right.
You take, some of these states, the competition is fierce. We've all been to places and been to other states and got to watch them and judge them and be there as captains. And it's just awesome. But they have learned, and that's only good for the industry. That's only good that, a well-rounded driver knows the industry and knows. A guy told me one time, and I always felt this. He was like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you don't make the man, you can be the CEO of a company and he's still got somebody to answer to. So if you don't make the man you're working for today any money, he don't need you tomorrow. And so I always tried to keep the revenue end of in perspective of everything. And,
right.
I felt that was always important to ensure the company and to ensure, my livelihood and my family's livelihood and everything, so my coworkers. And so, but you're right. It's changed so much in the truck driving championships, and you better be sharp, But again, if you hang out with the good people, it only makes you that much better too.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I know get rookies involved in it, and once you get them involved in it, they're hooked. And,
yes.
And
yes.
Once they get into it and they get hooked, in my personal opinion, I watch them in the yard hooking up. I watch them going down the road, and it just turns that right to safety. Everybody's more conscious about what they do, because you want to be there next year, and like you said, win, lose, or draw, you're all winners because you made it 1 year safe to be there. And like I said, to go back and see those good people that you haven't seen in 6 months or a year is just, it's a feeling like no other.
Absolutely.
I guess I'm kind of promoting it because the NTDC is coming up in Indianapolis here, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And just to hear those numbers of the years in the industry and the millions of miles that these drivers have drove safe is just astounding. It's just totally astounding. Now, have you always competed in Missouri, or was you eligible to go in Kansas or anything like
No,
that?
yeah, my first 19 years was in Kansas, and then our terminal moved across the state line, and I lived in Missouri, and so so I had to switch to Missouri, and so I've been there 14 years or something, like 15 years, something like that. I've been over there, which is the both of them are awesome programs. They put on both of them awesome programs. Missouri's probably quite a bit bigger than the Kansas rodeo. There's quite a few long haul carriers based in Missouri. Prime and several others are based there that always participate. But one thing you said, Steve, that I wanted to, when I was young competing in the rodeos, I wanted to take home the hardware. I just wanted to, win. And I had a old safety man, John Lathrop. He's passed on now, but he was always, Byron, it's not about the trophies. It's about you're here. He always would tell me, it's about you're here. You made it here. That's what this is your reward from the company for being safe all year, is you being here. And I have lived long enough, been fortunate enough to come full circle that he absolutely was right. I got third place this year in my class, and it could have been the grand championship, because I was like, I'm here. I'm here for all these years. I'm still here, and I hadn't won anything in 10 years, and so to get a third place, I was tickled to death. On my way out, I'm going to take a third place with me, but John was right. It was all about all the safe years is what it was about. It wasn't about the trophies. It was about being there every year, being safe. So that's what,
Byron, we got a comment on the screen here. So it won't show you who it is when we run it through the StreamYard app, because people have to give it permission, but I can actually see it on my phone here. This is from Terry Schneck. Is that right? SCHENK. But he says, Byron, one of the guys I looked up to in Missouri, going to miss competing against him when he retires.
Oh, how nice. How nice. I still hope to come and volunteer and give back that way, because they've been, the championships have been so good to me. I won in Missouri. I won grand champion once, and I won my class twice in Missouri, won my class once in Kansas. So I got to go. I got to go to the Nationals 3 times, which was more than I deserved probably. And both of my boys went on to be professional drivers. Yeah, there's me and Bob. Both my boys went on to be professional drivers, and they have both been to the Nationals once apiece. So to say that safety and what the truck driving championships have done for me and my family, every June, going to back in the Kansas days, it was either Salina or Wichita or Topeka, usually, where they move their championship around. That was like our June vacation. May and June was truck driving practice, and then and so the whole family was involved.
Right.
And like I said, there's a picture of Bobby. I think he's he got second place this year in his class, and I got third place in my class. Right. So it truly was a family affair for many. It still is. Like I said, one of the boys is continuing on in it, and so the grandkids go, and so it's been a very fulfilling project. Kind of in our household, that's kind of our team sport. Truck driving championships.
So tell us, looking at this picture right here, being your last year competing and being on stage and taking home some hardware, how did that make you feel?
Oh, Tim, I tell you, that was, like I said, that could have been grand champion. I wouldn't have been no happier. Bob won second place, and I won third place, and we was there. We was there, and we was competing to win with him was special. To win the same, and that was very special. It was very special.
Right. Right. Well, let me say this right here. The number, everybody, is 229-740-0912. If you want to call the show and say anything to Mr. Byron, you're welcome to call the show. I'd appreciate it if you would do it. But man, I tell you, I've got some more pictures here. I didn't tell you I had these pictures, but I kind of snatched them today. But so let's go through some of these pictures and talk about these pictures, okay? All
Okay.
right. So, and
Scary Steve. Steve, this is scary stuff here.
well, I got a reason for throwing this picture right here up there. Okay, so I want to ask you a little bit about this.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So tell me about this picture, but tell me more or less about the cowboy hat.
Well, you very rarely do you see me without a hat. I mean, I all my customers, like a lot of times, if it's a rainy day and I got a ball hat on or something, they won't let me in. And so I'm kind of known for the Western hats. In the wintertime, it's a felt hat, and straw hat, of course, in the summertime. So, yeah, I've almost always got a hat on. So, yeah.
All right. So I said that to say this. So tell us a little bit about your life outside of work. Tell us a little bit about the farm life.
Well, we've always been in a rural community, and I live about 50 miles east of Kansas City. So I have a warm up before I get to town. I commute about 50 miles to get to Kansas City to the terminal. And so we've always been involved. My folks, 88 and 85, they're still actively farming down in southern Missouri and cattle operation. And I try to go and see them as much as possible. And we've had cattle here, and we've had a little row crop farm here too. So we've stayed pretty active in agriculture. Has been a big part of our life, and our own, the trucks have always played into that. So that's always been a big part of our lives here.
Yes,
that's kind of our sideline, I guess.
So do you have like a hay baling operation there too?
Well, we buy all of our hay.
Okay.
We just don't have time to we buy all of our hay here, and we buy most of it down south. We buy most of it for down there too. Sometimes I buy, depending on what the weather is, I may have to buy some up north here and truck down south. So
yeah.
So a lot of days, we'll be trucking on our days off type deal, as far as our own stuff, So
yeah, and I kind of knew that, and that's the reason I wanted to bring it up, because I mean, everything about your life is trucking, correct?
It truly is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you say you got two boys, correct? And both of them
Yes,
are
sir.
trucking. And do you have any other children?
Yeah, my daughter. They're in the cattle business. Her and her husband. So yeah, we're either in trucking or cattle. That's my goal, to chase cattle and grandkids when I retire here. And yes, we've been. Bill drives for Cass, and he hauls cars out of. He's based out in Indiana right now.
Right.
And Bob drives for ABF out of Sedalia, Missouri, and he's on the road team. He's one of the new road team captains.
Right. And so you're first generation trucker?
No, about Dad only drove farm trucks. My grandpa, he had one of my grandpas had a steel hauling truck. So kind of roughly third.
I got you. So on down the line, your sons would be fourth generation, and
yes, sir. Yeah,
and that is just absolutely awesome. And I applaud you for it, because you and your family are providing such an essential service to our communities, and of course our communities make up our nation, and so I applaud you for that. And so it is a very, very important thing. Let me go to this next picture here. And well, before we do that, Steve, I don't want to leave Steve out here, because you got anything, Steve?
No, I'm good. I mean, just to piggyback on what you said, everything that comes and goes by a truck. So it's, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, and I mean, without farmers and truckers, where's this world going to be? You know, whether it's vegetation farmers or it's cattle, pig farmers, whatever it is, chicken farms. You know, you and I talked about that, Byron, when we was together
Yeah.
a year or so ago. Good old town in Knobnoster. I used to haul for Cow Main Food.
Yeah, that's right.
Pick up eggs at the chicken farms. I said,
That's right.
everything is evolved around trucks, trucking, and good people such as yourself. And I just want to comment before he goes to the next picture. You are so happy to get up and go to work every day. What are you going to do when you retire?
Well, Steve, I've got tons of projects waiting on me. Ain't no doubt about that. I'm not going to miss the 4 a.m. clock. I'll guarantee you that. Because I have to be in Kansas City at 6, so 4 o'clock is when it goes off every morning. So
Right.
I'm not going to miss that. I am going to miss the craft. I'm going to miss my customers, the people I work with daily. I've done it so long. They become your I don't want to sell them short, and I don't want to oversell them. Your secondary family per se. So many of them, you guys know what I mean.
Right.
Guys you work with, some of them your close friends. Their kids. What troubles they're going through, what good times they're going through. It's important. I think I'm trying to make a pact to stay in touch with a lot of them. When that happens, to where I can, stay in touch with them on stuff like that.
Right.
But it will be an adjustment, ain't no doubt about it. But every chapter, every day is a new chapter. We're not promised tomorrow, so it'd just be a new chapter, Steve. That's the way I look at it.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Byron, before we move on to the next picture I got here to surprise you with.
You sly devil, you.
Tell us about tell us a little bit about the life, the day of a city driver. What's your day like from starting to finish for the listening audience that may not ever have been, done P&D? I've done P&D. I'm Steve. I don't know if you've ever did P&D, but
No.
I mean, I did P&D for about 5.5 years before I moved to the road. So tell us a little bit about the day in the life of a city driver.
Well, dispatch now, different places dispatch different ways. Now I'm on a bid. I'm on the same bid route every day. So I know the area I'm going to. Now the customers will change every day, and I'll have to juggle the customers. I have to look at the bills and see what appointments I got, what time I got to be where. That'll dictate the way I may run my route is how whatever the appointments are. And I try to finish up midway through the day. Like I try to get empty by noon, and then get all my freight off, because I got to have that same trailer to make pickups with. And so some customers I go to, like today, I had eight stops for pickups, and picked up 13 bills and 8 stops today. So 3 or 4 of those were everyday places I go to every day, and the other 3 or 4 was, I had been to them all before, of course, but they don't call every day. So it makes a nice variety of, I never get bored in my job type deal, because it's always something new, something every day different.
Right.
And then, like I said, then I'll head in, check in, and that's usually it for me,
So coming up on retirement, and I can just imagine that you have ran probably the same bid for a while, correct?
Yeah, this bid here I've been on for 12 years, I think.
That's a little while.
Yeah.
I'm sure coming up on retirement, that's going to be a bittersweet day, because you formed and you've built relationships with your customers. And so I'm sure that they're going to miss you because you know when they're there, you know when they go to lunch, you know when you can kick this freight off, you know the time slots to get there. So that's going to be something that's going to be greatly missed, that somebody coming in behind you is going to have to learn that whole new routine, you know.
Well, that's true. I've kind of been preparing some of my standard customer. I've been preparing them for it. I'm hoping I can get the company to bid the job a week early and let me take whoever bids the job with me for a week and introduce them to the customers and tell them just how things go here and what they expect of the driver and kind of hand them off type deals. What I hope I can do.
Right.
Some of these customers have become personal friends, so some of them I'll stay in touch with regularly.
Right.
Yeah, it is very, very bittersweet, Tim. As far as the when you think about doing something that long, it is hard to walk away from it. But like I said, I look at it as a new chapter. I've got, like I said, I want to follow my grandkids heavily, and I want to you two, both you two, I know you guys got kids, and Tim, I know you got that new granddaughter, and
I got one that's in labor as we're speaking. A new granddaughter should be here anytime now.
So, congratulations on that.
So if y'all see me do this, I'm done.
You're gonna leave it with me and Steve. All right.
hey! I will tell you this: my son's watching, and they're at the hospital in the labor room right now. But he was watching. He was watching the show a while ago, so I'll tell y'all that.
But as they become more important in your life, and they're probably. That's probably bad to say that. They won't become no more important, but they will get more focus. And
right.
I'm looking forward to that. Spending more time with them, and always go with the positives.
All right, we got a call coming in here, so let's see who we got on the phone here. They got a question to talk to you about. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, this is Tim with the Truckers Voices page. Who do we have here?
Hey, Tim, it's Danny Smith. How you tonight?
I'm going good, Danny. We're on the show with Byron Bramwell here, and I seen your comment there. You're a little late to the show, and you just got part, but man, you've missed a good one. But we're glad you called in tonight. You got anything you want to say to Byron?
Well, I've been listening to it. It's a great show, Byron. Congratulations on that retirement coming up. I know you're looking forward to it.
Thank you, Danny.
You got a lot of things there to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Around the farm, grandkids and cattle.
Yep.
He can hear you now, Danny. I have my earphones on, but he heard everything you said, and he said thank you. But he can hear you now.
Okay. Well, congratulations. 45 years. What an accomplishment. Well,
thank you very much, sir.
That's a big.
That it is, like I said, it's been a very very blessed career, and the friends throughout the country. When the merger happened between Roadway and Yellow, I had 31 years in. I just about retired at that time, but I thought, no, I was only 50. I think I was 52 or something. I get 51, and I thought, no, I want to do some more trucking. And in the years since that, of course, I got on America's Road Team, been on that for 10 years. And I just think about that aspect alone, the friends I made on that alone, 3 of them I'm talking to here. I wouldn't have had that if I wouldn't have stayed with it. So staying with it to me was not it ended up being a no-brainer. I was very glad I stayed. And because I wouldn't have met none of you 3 guys, Danny and you 2, so that was great.
And be a P&D driver like you are, I'm sure you've got some really solid friendships with your customers that you've dealt with for many years.
Oh, I do. I remember this one time, this one big customer I got. I had 2 trailers dropped there, and they was loading freight, and I was late getting there. So we had a deal that if I was ever late, they put the bills underneath the floor mat at the front door. Well, they forgot to put the bills under the floor mat, and I got 2 loads of freight sitting there on a Friday night. And I'm like, how am I going to get the bills for these loads? So I didn't have the manager's phone number, so I called the fire department. And I told the fire department, hey, who's your emergency contact number for this big customer? I won't tell their name. I said, who's your emergency contact for him? I said, I told him, I said, he says, I happen to know a guy that works there. So he said, I'll make some calls and I'll call you back. Well, the manager of the plant calls me, and he sings how the fire department has contacted him. He thinks the building's on fire. So he calls me back, and I said, where are you at? And he was out to dinner with his wife. It was a Friday night. And I said, I need some freight bills. Where were you at? And I said, you guys forgot to leave them. He says, oh, my God. And he says, I'll be down there in an hour. So we end up becoming, and I really didn't know him that well at that time. We ended up becoming good friends. He told me later, he said, you may have saved my job. He said, if 2 loads of freight would have sat there on Friday night till Monday, till we would have got bills for them, he said, I would have been in big trouble. He said, you may have very well saved my job. And I said, well, I just thought it was funny that that you called and you thought the building was on fire. But anyway, so yeah, that's the kind of friendships you made as a P&D driver. You could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely a great story, Byron. That's definitely a great story. But you and Mr. Danny Smith here, you all going to be going out about the same time there. So
I thought, I didn't know that for sure. I thought maybe Danny was getting ready to go, isn't he?
Yeah.
Danny, you still there?
Right after the first of the year, I'm gonna hang it up.
Good.
Sometime in February.
Good. Well, congratulations to you, Danny.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to spending a little time at home. I'm looking forward to not being in a hurry to be somewhere. Because I've been an over-road driver my entire career. Seems like I'm always in a hurry to get somewhere.
Yep. I agree with you. That is a big one, because it's like I hurry to get there. Then it's like, what stops has got appointments, got to hurry to get to them. And, it is a hurry, fast paced career. It sure is.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That will be nice.
Well, Danny, I got a couple more things I want to touch base. We've got like 5 minutes left in the show, but thank you for calling, Danny.
You're quite welcome.
Good talking to you, Danny.
Congratulations. Enjoy retirement.
Thank you, Danny. See you soon.
Talk to y'all later.
All righty. So let me put my my earphones back in here so I can hear you good. I've been working on some technical things on the show. I hadn't quite got them up yet, so we're getting better as we go. Look here. I want to ask you about this right here, Danny. Byron. I'm sorry. I got Danny on my mind. Well, hold on. We got another call coming in. Okay, hold on. Let's see who this is. Hey, welcome to the show. Who we got here?
Scott Post.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you thank you again for coming up to our Shop Driving Championships in Minnesota. And you were a great announcer. You were never at a loss for words. And what you said at the speech you made at the end before they handed out the trophies. And I had told some of the guys that didn't do as well as they thought they should. I always told them there were no losers there. And you had reinforced what I told them, and only you did it better. And they're all gung-ho to go again for another year. I just want to say thank you for everything you did when you came up by us.
Well, thank you, Scott. That's I love coming to Minnesota. I've been up there a few years now, and that's great people, great friends up there, and I speak from the heart. And it was great visiting with you. I remember, we got to visit for some time. I speech I gave because that's my sport, basically. Go from wanting to win hardware to it meaning something to the safe miles and the public's been safe and I've been safe, the equipment's been safe. That's that's what really added up. You know, it wasn't about the hardware, but I know we all want to win hardware, but there is the bigger picture of they's all winners for being there, and I'll always say that because I truly believe it. You know. But thank you anyway, Scott, for that. That was great. Always great coming up to see you guys.
That's what it's all about. Did you happen to take a peek inside that 49 Kenworth that was sitting out front with the 2 shift levers on it?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I gave it a once around and thought what a cool truck that was sitting there.
I'll tell you, it needs a little work, but I think that'll be that truck's going to have a lot of splendor if it gets restored properly.
Being at that Kenworth dealership, I'll bet they'll do a number on it. I bet.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, good talking to you. I wish you the best. Be safe out there.
Thank you. I'll see you next year if I don't see you sooner.
Okay, sounds good. Talk to you later.
All right.
Thank you for calling the show, Scott.
Thanks, boy.
All right, Byron, real quick, we got about 2 minutes because we cut it off at 9 o'clock. Tell me about this picture right here that's on the screen here.
Okay, first off, you see I'm wearing a ball hat.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my second place finish down at Herschel's in tanker class. I drove tanker class that year, probably about 5 years ago.
Right.
And I got second place down there in tanker class at Herschel's event in Atlanta. Is where that was at. Great time. You know how good that event is. Great calls, great people. It's almost like a reunion for all of us, you know. So great time, and I was real happy that I pulled out a second down there. So good time.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw these pictures in here at last before we go off the air because Steve and I, we always get a plug in there for the Safety Drive for a Cure because we're actually broadcasting over there on their page right now too, and as well as on YouTube. But anybody that has anything to do with a Safety Drive, if they ever go and try it just once, they're hooked. And it's
right.
it's not just about the driving, but it's about the money that we raised for such a great cause for the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation, So
right.
I got one more picture, and that's just your other one there. I think Jeff Payne was first, you was second.
Yep.
I don't know who this was that was third.
I can't make out who that is.
I believe it's Jeff Rose.
Oh, is it Jeff Rose? Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's Jeff Rose.
Okay, all right. But anyway, well, Byron, thank you for coming on tonight, man. It's been a great show. We're here at the 9 o'clock hour. Steve, I'm going to leave you with if you go one last question for Byron.
I just got to say, Byron, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your friendship. You ever get towards Dayton, you make sure you call me. If I get out towards Kansas City, I am definitely going to call you, brother.
Well, you make sure you call me. You come to Kansas City. Any of the the guys, the captains, anybody we all run with. You get to Kansas City, you call me. We can always do lunch or something. And thank you guys for what you do for the industry, because that's the industry moving forward. That's the next chapter is you guys going, in the next chapter. So that's what I want to say.
Wink, wink. I'll be somewhere around Kansas City soon.
Okay. You call me when you're here, and if we can do lunch, we'll do lunch.
Yeah, like I think Monday sometime I should be in that area.
Okay, call me.
All right. Well,
thank you, guys.
If you'll hang tight with us, we're going to end the show here, but we end it in a special way. Byron, thank you very much. Wish you well in your retirement. Thank you for coming on the show, and don't be a stranger. We may have you back on sometime after retirement to see how the retirement life is. Okay.
That sounds good, Tim. Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Thank you, Byron.
Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you, everybody, for listening tonight. And y'all be safe out there. I hope y'all have a good Friday tomorrow. And as I always say, y'all look out for those that aren't looking out for themselves. And what does this guy right over here say?
Remember, the most important trip is the trip home. Be safe, everybody.
Y'all hang tight for a minute.
I believe in God.